Targeted towards the anniversary of the 1979 Islamic Revolution in Iran. Specifically, I think we'd like to start by asking you how it affected you in 1979. How did you receive the success of an Islamic revolution as a young student in the university?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina wa nabiyina Muhammad wa ala tayyibin at-tahirin. Remember, before the success, there was this uprising which dominated the news in 1980. Prior to the success, we were young students. I was 20 age at that time. So in those days, in our universities, there was what I may call ideological warfare between us and other people. There was a dominant of communist ideology that time. It was a sign of being a progressive and wise and maybe educated and be modern to identify oneself with communist ideology among students and lecturers, particularly in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. So in 1980, we started to hear about this uprising in Iran. At the time, the Imam was in France at that time. And at that time I was talking about there was communists who were asking for change in the communist way, and there were ourselves who are saying that the future should be Islamic, and there were those who were satisfied with the status quo. So this tug of ideological warfare came at it. At that time, some people were thinking that Islam was a sin of the past. In fact, there was a time when we had a symposium. We were talking about the future of the country should be Islamic. And some people replied as that Islam has ruled the world, but it was in all the time. It is now a sin of the past. It is just a matter of history, meaning that it will no longer come back. Then there was this uprising in Iran, and it dominated the news. Our source was mainly the Western press. At that time, this Time and Newsweek magazines, the television at that time, and everything focus on Iranian news, on the cities and the demonstrations, and then showing the Imam. At that time, people are calling him Ayatollah. In fact, they thought Ayatollah was a name. It was later we come to understand it was a title. There were many other Ayatollahs apart from himself. So at that time, it makes us, it boosts our morale, and it makes us feel that what we have been yearning and aspiring is realizable. It's possible since it has been realized elsewhere. The success of the revolution was, a turning point in modern history. It changed our thoughts, not only ourselves. It will even change the thought of other people about Islam. And in fact, those who are calling for communism, also it changed their thought. Those calling for communism were against Western capitalists led by US. And this is a man who has not only shown finger in their own face, but even has touched their nose. Even has even slapped their face. So he became a hero even to other people, not only to the Muslims. And remember, in Nigeria, particularly in zone Nigeria, we have a history of a change toward in Islamic change, I might say, 100 years before the coming of the colonialists. And it has been the yearning and aspiration of our people to return to what we have lost to the colonialists. And this is why immediately when we heard about the revolution, it was very easy for a common people on the street to understand it. In the picture of Imam, has sent a message to all the people. They were just simply liking him was Sheikh Osman and Podium, And unfortunately, the first picture of Imam we have seen was a picture of himself making a sujood, prostration, And so many other pictures, everywhere you will see picture of Imam posted, and it was cut from magazines and newspapers, So the impact was tremendous. It changed our thought completely. It not only ourselves, even others. It has changed their thoughts. Even non-Muslims, it has changed their thoughts about Islam. And the truth is simple. It boosted our morale.
Okay, well, that is my next question. I was going to say, how has it, what kind of impact has it had on you? So you've been calling for shunning immorality even on the campus, and championing the cause of Islam even on the campus, even before the Iranian Revolution.
That is true.
So how has that impacted on you?
Yeah, that's true. Immediately we have seen a symbol, before we had a historical symbol. Now we have a living symbol where whom we can emulate. Now it shows that this is in a modern time, because people used to think, how can Islam be practiced in modern time? Now we have a symbol, model to copy, and alhamdulillah, a copy of someone who is a living embodiment of what he was calling for, and he himself was emulating that of Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam, So that in a way, makes us to feel that now we have a symbol that we can emulate. We have a mentor. We have someone who we can say this is a leader. We have, the Islamic world has been calling for, seeking for a leader. Now it has one, alhamdulillah. And what is more, maybe I will come to that, I was fortunate to be among those who were in Iran to celebrate the first anniversary of the victory of the Islamic Revolution. First anniversary, January, February 1980. So I was fortunate to be there and to see a lot of things. I will talk about that later.
How does the Islamic Revolution affect not just the Middle East, but the rest of the world, including Africa, the rest of the world, including Africa?
Well, it has, in the same way I have said, it has changed our thought when we were students. It has also changed the thought of the world. It was the main focus of news in the Western press. The West itself, was taken unaware. As I read on one magazine called Reader's Digest, they said that Khomeini seized Iran and shook the world. The world was shaken. To the internet, they were thinking that Islam was like a dead person. So when someone is dead and you see him as a corpse, when all of a sudden the corpse rises up, you will definitely be afraid. You will be shocked. How can a dead person rise? Because they were thinking that Islam was a thing of the past. Now seeing it in a modern time, really it changed their perceptions, changed the perception of the people around the world, in not only Muslims but even non-Muslims. I could remember I've been saying this words many times that when Sheikh Rafsanjani, then a president of the Islamic Republic, visited North Korea. The president of North Korea, Kim Il-sung, then was saying to him that we used to think that religion. We think that religion was an opium of the people. But your religion, your Iranian religion, showed us it is not an opium, because it is the same religion you use to wake people up. You know, opium means something which makes people sleep. Then, so that you can turn them the way you like. But it is the same Islam, which is a religion, which now it's used to wake people up. It was an instrument of the revolution. It was an Islamic revolution. And a lot of people were thinking that how can Islam be practiced in this modern age? I could remember someone among the critics were saying that how can you take something which has been practiced around 1,400 years ago and bring it to the modern time? You can now, instead of traveling by air in aeroplane, you should be traveling on top of camel. Or what they do not understand is that Islam is for all time. It's not limited to the time of the past. It is for all time. And if one says it is a thing of history, now it has been practiced in modern day. So it not only affects the thinking of Muslims, it affects also the thinking of non-Muslims. I can remember also Kul Warham, then Secretary General of the United Nations, 2 times Secretary, he was Secretary for 10 years. He said that he, as a Christian, was proud of a religion because of the Iranian revolution made him to feel proud of his own religion.
So in fact, that is the point of my next question.
Okay.
And the next question is that the people I spoke to, and many others, not just these 2 that I spoke to today, found the Iranian revolution interesting. They were not Shiaist Muslims.
Oh.
They were Sunni Muslims, but it appeals to them. And so many, you've given the former cook as an example. There are so many other people that found the Iranian revolution interesting, and yet they are not Muslims, and yet they are not Shia. How does it transcend Islam? It's not just an Islamic, so it is not just an Islamic religion. That's what I'm saying.
It's a revolution. Yeah, it is a revolution, indeed a revolution. As I've said, it affected also the communists. The communists, were interested in it. After all, they have one common rival, as the Western capitalism. Now, the Islamic revolution has affected them in that way. Fidel Castro, has shown his support, and so many, communist countries showed their support, and also all the Muslims showed their support at the beginning. The word Shia only came later. It's an instrument to fight the revolution. Nobody was talking about Shia at that time. It was seen only simply as an Islamic revolution. Targeting it as a Shia came later. When they saw that they should fight the influence of this revolution outside. But at the beginning, the West wanted to destroy the revolution. When they were unable to destroy it, they now sort of wanted, let us prevent it from being exported to other people, to other nations. And one instrument of fighting that is to now tag it that it's a separate Islam, not the Islam you know. So the idea of Shia Sunni, They started to show that. But I remember in my lectures when I came back from Iran, I was saying that people talk a lot about Shia, but we found that the Iranians don't speak about that. They simply see themselves as Muslims, and even non-Muslims participated in demonstrations against the former regime. So the idea of Shia Sunnah was actually invented in order to fight the revolution, but it has tremendous effect on all Muslims. We here only saw it as an Islamic revolution and nothing more, nothing less. And others saw it as a revolution for calling for social justice, even when they are not Muslims.
Is it exportable?
Yeah, it has been exported already. To borrow their word, actually, we are only borrowing their words. Otherwise, Islam is for all. It's not. You cannot speak of import or export. It has been with us. We are Muslims, and the same Islam is is the same Islam. Whether the enemy like it or not, by fighting us to divide us into sects and different camps, they are just wasting their time because it is the same Islam after all. So here, like I was saying, that we had a revolution which took place 200 years ago, and immediately people saw Imam Khomeini. They just likened him with Sheikh Osman bin Fodio, because easily they understood the message of the Islamic revolution. You don't need to take long time to convince an average Muslim here in this country about a revolution. They understand. We have lost this our own sovereignty to the colonialists. The colonialists come and impose a system upon us, and it has been the yearning and aspiration of our people to go back to what we have inherited from our forefathers. And certainly it is possible. It has been possible elsewhere. And what is more, it is defined and practiced in the modern time. So you don't need to even think of how can it be possible to us to practice the teachings of the Prophet, which was taught 1,400 years ago, over 1,400 years ago. Now it is in practice elsewhere, and you can see it practical. Whether they like it or not, it has come to stay.
The Shah of Iran, Shah Reza Pahlavi, was very brutal, was corrupt, immoral. The regime was not this thing. And I read somewhere, and it says that many Iranians saw him as saw the Ayatollah as Imam Hussein, well, a symbol of like what happened to Imam Hussein, and the Shah as Yazid. So there is clearly a point of reference that is based on major Shia ideology in that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the reason, as you have of course said, that it's not the reason why the revolution took place, but some sections of Iran saw it in that light because of the prevailing circumstance in Iran under Shah Reza Pahlavi. And then the Ayatollah came along and thought that this social injustice and all this corruption must be done away with, and everybody identified with that. So there is definitely, what I'm saying is, there is definitely a connection. There's a connection between this and the revolution.
Yeah, that's true. I must say that the background in Iran was so what will I say? It was conducive for such kind of revolution, because I might say, I can use the word lucky. They are so lucky to have a symbol of evil. That symbol was one man called Muhammad Reza Pahlavi. Muhammad Reza Pahlavi symbolizes everything evil. He was a puppet of Western regimes. He has sold the wealth and honor of the people of Iran to the West. He was corrupt. He was immoral. He symbolized everything evil. So simple, one word they used to say in their slogan: "Death to the Shah." Death to the Shah. Mark Bar Shah. Mark Bar Shah. Just Shah was just symbolized everything. All they need is the Shah must go. But with going of the the Shahism also went. You know, it was called a Shah of Shahs, the King of Kings, Shahin Shahia. The Shahin Shahia also a system, symbolized a system. That system went along with him. So he was a symbol of that, and with his going, the system also went away with him. Now, as you said, rightly said, then there's another symbol. This symbol is a symbol of justice. It's a symbol of purity. As I was told by someone, he said when Imam was arrested, the chief of security was speaking with him with all respect. He was saying that, sir, saying, you are a holy man. You are good. Why do you involve yourself in politics? Get away of all this politics. This politics is not for good men like you. It's not for holy men like you. And he was saying that they like me. He was right to himself, the chief of security. He said he mentioned many evils that he was doing. He was doing this and that. I wouldn't say it in his own words. He was saying, I am doing this, that. Oh, he mentioned so many evil things which he was doing. He said, but you are a holy man. You are not part of this. So keep away from this politics. The Imam said, have you finished? I am not, that politics you are talking about, I leave it to you. It's up to you. I'm talking about the politics of Amir al-Mu'min, alayhi salam. So, and also the Imam was asked, how will you implement Islam in this? He said, our only frame of reference is the time of Amir al-Mu'min. So, he symbolized also, if you rightly said, he symbolized Hussein as the Shah symbolized Yazid. So they have seen these two symbols. And also, it has been very difficult for us here to show people similar symbols. If they can understand a symbol of holiness, all right, the symbol of evil may be difficult for them to understand. So because we are talking about system. The system is bad, and people were thinking that in Nigeria, you keep on changing governments. One president will come, another will go. One president. So in Iran, they have this monarchy where one man rules until his death. So he became a symbol. Here, in other places, we hardly have similar symbol. Even if you say this man should go, after some time he will definitely go, and another dictator will come. He might come in white colors. Soon he will change the colors and become another symbol. If they can understand the symbol of that evil, like the Imam rightly called U.S. said America is Shaitanul Akbar, the greatest Shaitan. And they also, apart from Mark Shah, death to Shah, they are saying also death to America. this to America, this to America. You know, this to America was even become in the voice of everyone in Iran. This to Shah, this to America. So people may begin to understand how the evil is symbolized with the Western regime, which support every puppet they impose in other places. And like, you know, awareness about the operation of, against the family of the Prophet, it's not our people. It's not only limited to Shia Muslims. It is in our area, every Muharram, they read a book. In many houses, these houses, you know, they have been doing it for many years. There's a house in Zaire, for example, they call it the house of Zakzaky means the people, Zakzaky, the people of Zakzaky. Even though I'm not from that house, all right, but the house has been there. They have been doing Ashura, reading Ashura book for about 600 years in that city. They originally came from an area called Benghazi, in what is now Libya. Yeah, and they maintained, maybe they were Shia, but with time they forgot being Shia. But they read the book from the time of coming out of Imam Hussein from Medina up to what happened in Karbala. Similar book is read in many houses. In Zaria, there is also another house called the House of Al-Hazawa. They have been doing it for years, and every Ashura day they would meet and cry. And when they were asked, why do they say this? Our forefathers told us to do so. We should cry. There is another house called Youth Power, the Youth Peace, also in Zaria. Also for many years, you know, for at least 200 years they have been doing it, and so on and so forth. So the Mazlumia of Ahlul Bayt is known to our people, even though they may not be Shia. So it is very easy when you remind them, you know. I remember some people from that UCP house, they came to me, they said that they were celebrating, they read this book about Ashura, but the only problem is for them also they cook delicious food at the same time. They cry and then they also celebrate, you know. And then, but now they said that our demonstrations, our you know, the way we told them that they are not supposed to be happy, and that they are supposed to cry only. You cannot cry and be happy at the same time, you know. So with Ashura, which used to be celebrated before, as Banu Umayyah made it a day of a day of celebration. What would I say? A day of happiness. But now it has changed easily. It's changed easily. Now it is no longer, people see it. Even the Wahhabis now, they say that it's not the day of happiness and it is not the day for cry. Whatever, yes. But what I'm trying to say is, even though people may not be Shia, but if you remind them about what happened to Imam Hussein, they can easily understand it. Because Imam is for all Muslims, even non-Muslims. If you tell them about the oppression of what was made to this family and the fields of Karbala, you find that it will change his thought.
What is the point of disagreement between you and the Nigerians that you talked about Ayatollah Khomeini getting, according to that security chief, getting involved in politics?
In politics, yeah.
You are a religious leader, a prominent religious leader. What is the point of disagreement between you and the Nigerian state? What is it about? You are vocal. What is it that you say that is a threat to the status quo? If we can just get at that.
Simple. We are saying that we at least in this part of this country, I didn't say all the whole country, the colonials came and divided us the way they wanted. But we have no such borders as between Nigeria and Niger. It's just one single nation. They divided us into nation states as they wish. And this part of the world, this part of the country has been together with other parts, and there has been a system before called Islam. The colonialists came, they colonized us. They will not impose a different system. What call it anything? But you cannot never call it Islam. It is not Islam. Now what we are saying is that we are going back to that same Islam. And people think it is not possible. And we feel, okay, if it is not possible, we are just calling. We are not fighting. We do not take even a stick. Why the fear? The authorities think that they have to defend the status quo. And they think that our call is a threat to the status quo. All right. We don't have a symbol like the Iranians have of a Shah. But we talk about the system itself. Whoever comes to govern is only continuing with the colonial legacy. Whether military or civilian, it is the same colonial legacy. And as long as colonial legacy continues, we will be subservient to former colonial masters. We can never be independent unless we have our own system, different from their own. And we have already. That's Islam. And the state, rather, because they are puppets to those colonial masters, they listen to the colonial masters. I know all the attacks against us has been ordered from those their masters. Now they have another master in form of United States, which is leading the Western capitalist system. All the attacks on us have been ordered from them. Otherwise, we don't see any reason why, a government will send an army to attack its own people and continue to murder people mercilessly, men, women, and children, for 3 consecutive days. Nobody can understand this. That's because it's an order from their masters. Their masters think that ever since after that revolution, they do not want similar things to happen anywhere. And that's why you see attack on Muslims everywhere, because they think that cannot happen again. But they are making a mistake, because they are fighting with different weapons. We are not taking arms to shoot anybody or to kill anybody. We are talking and writing. And this message gets to the people. And you cannot destroy an ideology with gun. So we say time without number. You cannot destroy truths with gun. If you say, they think that this awareness has been growing among the people, they should ask themselves why. Why is the whole awareness? Why is it that our people have become aware? And what is more, they have been perseverant, and they have been growing in number, and they have been perseverant, and they have been consistent. Why? Because it is their own conviction, it is on their belief, and you cannot destroy that belief with force. And the truth cannot be fought except with falsehood, isn't it? You cannot. The truths are not two, so that you cannot fight truth with truth, because the truth is only one, and they know very well. So that's to put it simple. It is if you look at it, we have never attacked anybody. We have been attacked several times, because they fear that what we are calling is also possible. And this last attack upon us, if this government didn't say it, at least they said it in a way. The president was interviewed immediately after the attack. he said that Zakzaky has formed a government within a government. Meaning he has his own government and Zakzaky has another government. Well, one professor of history, Professor, may Allah have mercy on him, he passed away last year, around this time. He said that this is exactly what Bao Zongorzo, the king of Gobir, said to Sheikh Osman bin Godi. You know, forming a government within government, you know. Just in the same way, the king of Gobir saw Sheikh as a threat to his own authority. That's how the Nigerian president see, or he was made to see. Because I don't think he himself can see it. But he was made to see that this man is a threat. And then the son of the king of Saudi Arabia said it clearly, that he said it was, he counted this as part of his achievement, that he said he has prevented a Hezbollah type of movement in Nigeria. You know, he's destroyed a Hezbollah type of movement in Nigeria and prevented its leader Zakzaky from forming a government similar to that, to the Islamic government of Iran. You know, we were asking these people whether what he was saying was true, because he counted attack on us as part of his achievement. Because those who attacked us were the Nigerian army, not Saudi army. Was it that this man was made to pay you to do the job? Up to today, they do not answer us. So if they hide their own reason, their own mission, at least this man has exposed it. Their fear is that the similar revolution will take place here. They are making very big mistake, because the revolution, you know, they cannot prevent it the way they have tried. They can only boost it, you know, and it will definitely happen one day. Even now, as they prevent us from going out, some of them were narrowly, the way they are not really thinking. They are saying, if this man gets out, he will come back in the same way Ayatollah Khomeini went back to Iran in 1779. So this is ridiculous. How do you think that it's happened that way? The revolution of Iran did not happen by Ayatollah returning in 1779. It was a continuous struggle for 100 years, which culminated in the success in 1979, which means the revolution, the struggle started much earlier than that, since 1879, you know, for 100 years before success. So it didn't happen just at the airport when the Imam returned to Iran. It's 1 year affair. It is continuous struggle for years, for decades. Okay.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. I don't know if you have any other message.
Okay, there was something I said earlier.
Yeah.
I need to expatiate on that. I was in Iran.
Okay.
You know, I mentioned that. I said I was in Iran.
Yes.
I was fortunate to be in Iran for the first anniversary
1980.
in 1980. And we also saw the Imam. At that time, he was in hospital, but they gave us the opportunities to see him, and he spoke with low voice because he was sick. Because of the importance is attached to a guest coming from different parts of the world, he came and addressed us. And also we visited the American embassy. At that time, the students were there and the hostels were there, but they chose some few people among us to allow them to go and see the hostels. But I was not among the people. But those one Nigerian was among them. We went together. He was allowed to go. We were 3 from Nigeria. One of us went, an architect, and so also we saw what we saw. I was I was deeply touched by what I've seen, particularly the gathering on that 11th February 1980 at the Behishti Bahra Cemetery. Seeing people as much as my side can see, all speaking with one voice, all with the heart of one man. It made me to cry a lot. When I came back, I just don't see the reason why our people cannot wake up that way. Some people think it is not possible. It is possible. Our people also have been made to sleep. If they wake up, the same spirit can be awakened in them. And I could remember giving talk also in different areas about what I saw in Iran. As in University of Lagos, when I came back, I landed in Lagos. Then I went to Ibadan also, Mapohol. I gave a talk about what I've seen in Iran. Back in Zaria, I gave a talk in Enterview in which so many people, gathered to listen, to the extent that I could remember some people trek from the city. There were some students from Al-Huda College who trekked from Zaria city to the Samur campus of Ahmadu Bello University, a distance of about possibly about 12 kilometers. But they trek up to, just to listen. Some people were even supposed to say they want to see that man who has gone to Iran. And you can see this show the way, that has impact on them. And also I had, we call it PIM show. I came with some slide. This was a slide show about the revolution. And a lot of people come to see that slide show, and including non-Muslims, of course. And also I went to other areas, Bayero University, University of Maiduguri, and other places, all to give talk about what I've seen in Iran. Right. All right. So this has also, awakened people a lot, particularly in student cycles, because all my talk were, apart from the Mapohol, in Ibadan, all other talk were all in universities and with students and in English language, whatever. Then I at one time I thought that I have to speak to the people in the city also with Hausa. Then of course at the beginning, so people were, could not understand what I was saying because I was they accepted the then government, the civilian government, which came in 79 also. In 79 there was a return to civilian rule, and they were happy. The military have gone, and then now a civilian president, and a Muslim, they cannot understand somebody coming to say that that's not what we should be doing. It should have been Islam, which they cannot understand. But no, alhamdulillah, things have changed with years. things have changed. They have now tested all the civilian governments. They are looking for an alternative. They have tested military and civilian, and are now tested civilian. Sheikh.